It's unhelpful to only equate warriors with violence. Yes, warriors move toward the enemy to kill them. That's part of what they do, but it's only a part of it. What I'd like to investigate in this lesson is a profound example of how warriors seek harmony and peace first. And this example comes from the martial art Aikido, the founder being Morihei Uesheba from Japan. Now, Aikido is not about avoiding conflict. It's really a full engagement of the conflict, but to diffuse it. That's the intention. And they do it through blending yin and yang forces, the aggressive and receptive forces that come together when we have a conflict. Morihei was trained as a samurai. He fought in some wars and he experienced violence firsthand. But he had a realization through this process that warriors really have a higher purpose. And the way he phrased it, it's the restoration of harmony, the preservation of peace, and the nurturing of all beings. Now, his philosophy is best understood through two translations that I found from John Stevens, and they are Aikido, the way of harmony, and the art of peace. Morihei was born into a samurai family in 1883, but he was kind of sickly as a child. His father, Yoruku, encouraged him to engage in sumo wrestling to toughen him up. And his father also told him great stories of his great-grandfather, who was a strong samurai of his day, one of the strongest. Well, Morihei found that he was particularly talented at martial arts. He did jujitsu, did swordsmanship, and then he entered into the army where he fought in Manchuria in the Russo-Japanese War. So this is where he experienced violence firsthand. So he learned a lot about the martial arts, but he also realized that there was something fundamentally limiting about it. For example, samurai, they're so brave and everything and fearless in battle, but when they're not in battle, they can tend to be fearful because they feel like someone will take revenge on them and kill them in their sleep. So on one spring day in 1925, he had a profound realization. He felt bathed in heavenly light. The barrier between spiritual and material worlds had crumbled. He realized the true purpose of Buddha was love, love that cherishes and nourishes all beings. He represented this realization in two complementary ways, the way of harmony and the art of peace. This is really just two different ways of saying the same thing, and this is how Morihei described it. What we need now are techniques of harmony, not those of contention. The art of peace is required, not the art of war. Reality is constructed in what I call a both-and understanding. You can't have one without the other. For example, creation and destruction. You can think about eating breakfast. Well, are you creating or destroying when you're eating? Well, you're doing both. From the perspective of the food, it's destruction. From your perspective, eating it, it's creation. Food nourishes you so you can live. Aikido accepts and works with this reality, but in a very intense way. And the way Morihei describes it, it's a fight to the death. All of your physical and spiritual effort and being is engaged in the conflict. This is a very intentional approach to doing something. And here we're talking about a martial art. But we need to translate this to activities that we're also doing and what we're training for. 10 minutes of intentional practice like this is worth more than 10 hours of just doing it haphazardly and going through the motions or being distracted. In other words, you need to be serious about the training that you do in order for it to be effective. The Aikido practitioners are single-minded in their determination. And it's a fight to the death, but in a different way than how you might be thinking about it. It's a fight to the death of the limiting aspects of yourself. This helps illuminate the path that you're on. Morihei describes it this way. Every encounter is a fight to the death, not of your partner, but of your lower self. One should be prepared to receive 99% of an enemy's attack and stare death right in the face in order to illuminate the path. This both-and reality accepts and blends these yin and yang forces, these aggressive and receptive forces. You neither cling to pleasure nor reject stress. Both of these are essential. If you're resisting this reality, then you just create more stress for yourself. You're less effective, and you actually create more pain for yourself. Morihei outlines it really well. Each day of human life contains joy and anger, pain and pleasure, darkness and light, growth and decay. Each moment is etched with nature's grand design. Do not try to deny or oppose the cosmic order of things. Mental training is not a means to an end. It's an end in itself. It's a means for doing self-inquiry work to find out more of who you are. When you know yourself more at a more deeper level, then you create a more meaningful life and a meaningful life experiences. Primary to doing mental training is digging into your own psychology. Morihei said, "The art of peace begins with you. Work on yourself and your appointed task. Everyone has a spirit that can be refined, a body that can be trained in some manner, a suitable path to follow. You are here for no other purpose than to realize your inner divinity and manifest your innate enlightenment. Foster peace in your own life and then apply the art to all that you encounter." From a warrior perspective, doing this inquiry work reveals your warrior spirit, for meeting challenges. And you honor your warrior spirit by being brave in the challenges that you're facing in your life. When you're doing this inquiry work, unpleasant things are going to be revealed. You're going to see these things. But you need to be able to see them, accept them, and work with them. This helps you know yourself better. It helps you know your path better, like your purpose in life. And then all of that comes together to help you be able to better serve the world. In Morihei's words, foster and polish the warrior spirit while serving in the world. Illuminate the path according to your inner light. Disciplines like climbing and Aikido provide the raw material for doing this self-inquiry work. That raw material is stress. Morihei stated it starkly. The penetrating brilliance of swords wielded by followers of the way strikes at the evil enemy lurking deep within their own souls and bodies. Morihei was interested in doing martial arts to do self-inquiry work, to dig into his own psychology, and then engaging others in this process also. But he did it through love and affection. Morihei states, "Attack opponents with the power of love. Bind them with your affection." You accept a both-and understanding of reality. You're serious about doing the self-inquiry work. Now you need to shift perspective. Okay, and you shift perspective to the whole, to the world. This is how you can serve the world the best. Morihei states, "The art of peace is medicine for a sick world. There's evil and disorder in the world because people have forgotten that all things emanate from one source. Return to that source and leave behind all self-centered thoughts, petty desires, and anger. Those who are possessed by nothing possess everything." How can you be possessed by nothing? Well, here again we see the importance of mental training. We can tend to be possessed by limiting behaviors that impact our attention, the effectiveness of our using attention. When we're possessed by nothing, then we've diminished those limiting behaviors. then we can possess everything in a sense to fully engage a challenge and meet it the best we can. You have unique skills, you have a unique path in this world, and so does everyone else, so do I. Collectively, though, we are truly more than the sum of its parts. We're more than just the number of people on this planet. And Morihei expressed this really beautifully. There are many paths leading to the top of Mount Fuji, but there is only one summit, love. You can learn about this both-and understanding of reality and shifting perspective from nature. Nature is a great teacher. For example, what can you learn from a mountain stream? How about flowing effortlessly and trusting how life unfolds? You see patterns in nature, like this pattern of creation and destruction. Do you accept it? Like nature accepts it and works with it. Do you accept it and work with it? Or do you reject one aspect of it? Here are 2 quotes from Morihei about shifting perspective. Do not fail to learn from the pure voice of an ever-flowing mountain stream splashing over the rocks. The most perfect actions echo the patterns found in nature. Once you accept reality as it is, you're serious about doing your self-inquiry work, you're shifting perspective, now you're ready to take effective action. And what that means is that you're focusing your attention on the breathing, eyes, body elements, the BEB elements. So what we want to do here is look at how Aikido represents these elements in its discipline. So, breathing. Close your eyes and slowly inhale as if your breath is soaring to the farthest reaches of space. Now, gradually exhale as if the entire sky is being pulled into the core of your body. You can see here how Aikido is using imagery to heighten the seriousness of their training. Closing the eyes also directs attention inward so it can be more completely focused on the breathing process. Eyes. When facing an opponent, to avoid being captured by his stare, gaze in the direction of his forehead rather than looking at his eyes. Eyes direct attention, so having this soft eye gaze lets you take in the whole of the situation without being focused on any one point in it. By focusing on the forehead, then you can have your attention focused everywhere without being focused anywhere specific. Body. Your posture should be stable like a mountain, immovable but not rigid. This posture simply indicates an unperturbed mind capable of responding to anything that arises. The posture that Morihei is describing here and that is taught in Aikido comes from the Yagu school of swordsmanship that Yagumunanori was running in the 17th century. And we looked at Yagumunanori in a previous lesson, examining his book, The Life-Giving Sword. So posture is important. The body is important. And Morihei describes it this way: neither open nor closed, stable yet supple posture. This keeps you in the middle of the challenge and also impacts your mindset. I like to call it a neither nor mindset. You're neither clinging to comfort nor rejecting stress. Right. Breathing, eyes, body integration. From the waist down, you are connected to the earth. From the waist up, you reach toward heaven. The breath pattern is up inhale, down exhale. Breathing, eyes, body helps integrate to create unified action. You're stretching the body in 2 directions. Stretching your spine up and grounding yourself with your feet into the ground. And the breath can help you with this. Everything that we've been investigating leads to one point, and that is valuing learning. Now, I've talked a lot about doing the work for its own sake. If you do the work for its own sake, then your learning-based motivation increases. And because of that, you can fully engage in the challenges that you have and be more effective in them. Doing work for its own sake means that you're integrating your practice throughout your day. It's not just something that you do in the morning. Like, for example, You're not just doing a 15-minute sitting meditation in the morning. You find a way to practice those meditation principles throughout your day. Specifically, in this example, catching yourself being lost in thought. You do that every moment of the day. In other words, training is how you live. You're not just doing the training and looking for some hidden secret somewhere. And Morihei emphasized this. When there's no longer a distinction between daily life and the practice of Aikido, we will truly be following the way of harmony. Progress comes to those who train and train. Reliance on secret techniques will get you nowhere. When you have this learning-based motivation, then your gratitude increases. And specifically, gratitude for the challenges that you have. And this is key to being a warrior because warriors see challenges as simply challenges. They don't feel blessed when they don't have stressors or challenges, and they don't feel cursed when they do have stressors and challenges. They're grateful for the challenges because it's an opportunity for learning, and they engage it in a very determined way with full focus. In Morihei's words, be grateful for hardships, setbacks, and bad people. Dealing with such obstacles is an essential part of training in the art of peace. Do not look upon this world with fear and loathing. Bravely face whatever the gods offer. Everything we've investigated helps you bravely face whatever the gods offer. You embrace the challenge. You use the warrior qualities to diffuse the conflict, not to avoid it. You engage it directly and blend with it. This integrates everything that you're doing and how you live your life. Here are some points. You accept the both-and nature of reality. You inquire into yourself seriously. You shift perspective so you can fully integrate into the challenge. You use the BEB elements with quality so you can take effective action. You're motivated by learning, doing work for its own sake. All of these help you honor your warrior spirit. They position you for seeking harmony. They pique your perception so you can look at the world more through the lens of harmony. This way you can integrate into it and diffuse the conflicts. Morihei said it a lot better than I can. The way of a warrior is to stop trouble before it starts. It consists in defeating your adversaries spiritually by making them realize the folly of their actions. The way of a warrior is to establish harmony. Practice without integration is almost pointless. Warriors find meaning in the practice so they can integrate it into their lives. And these Aikido qualities can help. When a stressor impinges on you, then follow these 5 steps. Here's the drill. 1. Accept. A true representation of reality consists of both comfort and stress. Accept stressors as natural. 2. Inquire. Be serious about stressors. What are they bringing into your awareness? 3. Shift perspective. Be curious about limiting behaviors that arise when facing stressors. This helps you integrate with them. 4. BEB. Focus on breathing deliberately, maintaining a soft eyes gaze, and holding your body with proper posture. Expand in 2 directions. Stretch your spine by elevating your head while also pressing your feet into the ground. 5. Learning-based motivation. Stressors are a part of life. Value them. Honor your warrior spirit. Demonstrate this by doing the work for its own sake. These 5 steps help you learn. But don't fight against this reality. Don't fight against stressors. Don't fight against how life is unfolding. Find a way to fight with it. And as Morihei suggests, you don't avoid conflict. You engage with it directly so you can diffuse it. When you engage with the stressors, with the challenges directly, then you can process yourself through it and learn.